we doing?
Good, how are you doing?
Good. Today's been a long day, you know?
I know.
So, I just kind of wanted to ask you guys here to, see how things are going on the unit since you guys are both on your own now.
Not too well. I think we both have talked about it. It's just been not what we expected. We thought it was going to be pretty easy coming off of orientation, and it's just been really stressful. I know for me at least, I worry a lot, and so I'm worrying while I'm at work, and I'm worrying when I go home, and it's just gotten to the point where I almost feel like throwing up before every shift. And then it doesn't help that the parents are always hovering over us. I don't know.
And I think that for my biggest thing is just the difference between school and work. What we learned in school isn't really exactly what we're doing here on the floor, and we both are feeling, we don't know, do we go by what we learned by the books and with our professors at school, or do we do just to fit in with the other nurses and do how they do things? So we're just feeling that we don't know how to give our patients the best care, and so yeah.
Well, I definitely want to think you guys are going through something that's called transition shock. And a lot of new grads experience this, so I want you guys to know that you're not alone in that. I do want to hear more about your opinion on this particular unit and how you guys are feeling, but I do also want you guys to know that the transition from orientation to a new grad is a really difficult thing, and I want you guys to know that I'm here for you as your nurse manager. If you guys have any concerns, feel free to come talk to me about it, and we can address those and try and kind of accomplish those. And I think that this is a problem that we've seen across the hospital, so I definitely want to set up a meeting with some of the other nurse managers and just kind of see their input on it. Would either of you guys be interested in coming to the meeting with me?
Yeah, I would go.
Okay. Well, I will definitely email the other nurse managers, and then we can get a meeting set up and kind of discuss some of the strategies that we can use to integrate new grads onto the units. And I will copy you in those emails.
Okay.
In the meantime, if you guys have any problems, don't hesitate to come talk with me. Thank you guys for coming here today. As I said in my email, a couple of our new grads brought some of their concerns to my attention, and I just wanted to invite some of the other nurse managers to get together and give some input on the topic and some of the strategies that they've been using with their new grads. So I asked Nicole to come here today. This is one of our new grads.
Okay.
She's going to give kind of her input on some of her concerns and her perspective. So before we get started, will you guys introduce yourselves and just tell Nicole a little bit about where you're from and your unit?
Sure. My name is Becky. I'm the nurse manager down on the med-surg floor down on 7 East.
And I'm Caitlin. I'm a nurse manager in the PICU. And I kind of just brought you guys, this is a little bit of information about what we do on our floor for new graduates. Kind of just something to reference on later if you decide that's the route you want to go.
Okay. So last week I had a meeting with Nicole and one of the other new grads, and we just kind of touched base about how things were going on the unit, how they were feeling in the transition process. So Nicole, you want to tell them a little bit about how you're feeling?
All right. Well, I've been off orientation for a couple of weeks now, and I thought I would be ready at the end of it, but I just don't feel like I am where I need to be. I really want to ask the nurses questions, but I feel like I'm bothering them a lot. And I thought I would be confident, and I was confident, but the parents of the kids are asking me all these questions, and I just don't feel as confident. And I think I could have really benefited from a longer orientation.
Well, Nicole, I'm sorry that the transition that you've had from orientation to your first few weeks hasn't been exactly as smooth as what you had anticipated. I think that in order to develop a plan, we need to start with the basics. We already know that you need learning, interaction, development, and adaptation to have a successful professional socialization. And if you don't have those, all new graduates are not going to be able to integrate into our professional working environment. Caitlin, do you think that you're having some of these issues on the PICU unit?
Well, I would definitely say that this is a known problem throughout the entire hospital. I was speaking with someone in HR a couple weeks ago, and they were looking at numbers and found that every year we lose around 30% of our new grads, and that's within their first year of starting. Last year alone, we lost 69% within their first year. So I think that those are pretty big numbers that we're looking at.
and it kind of just gives us some statistics as to how big of a problem this is.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen this as a problem on my unit for the past couple years increasingly, and I didn't realize the magnitude that this had on the entire hospital. And I really think that just like taking back those numbers, we should really move into the movement stage and develop a plan of how we can tackle this.
Well, I can say that what we're doing in the PICU is working, and the sheet that I've given you kind of outlines the program that we have. If you want to follow along, there's a lot of aspects that go into this program that leads to its success. So we've implemented something that's called the Social and Professional Reality Integration for Nurse Graduates program, or for short we call it the SPRING program. And basically what this program is a 1-year internship, and it provides a comprehensive education, group exercises, mentoring from educators and preceptors, and then personal development plans that are individualized for each new grad. On top of that, they also have to attend 10 education sessions, all of which focus on new graduate problems that they may experience while in practice, kind of like some of the problems Nicole was telling us about. Our department also has a nurse educator, and they are specialized to meet specifically with the nurse interns. They meet with our preceptors, and they also meet with myself, and they're trained to intervene early if issues start to arise. They have expertise in this clinical area, and this is kind of an essential part of the program is these nurse educators. They are dedicated to supporting the intern, and they do ongoing progress checks, they provide continuous feedback, and do problem-solving interventions. So the personalized support that they provide the new grad allows them to develop a sense of identity, belonging, and commitment to their unit specifically. And after talking to Catherine prior to this meeting, I kind of looked up actual numbers to see how much this program has helped our retention rates. And the retention rates after 12 months, which is the length of the program, of this past recent group was 89%. So many of the graduate nurses expressed to me that they had felt a higher sense of belonging after completing the program, which I think is something that many nurses want for their units. They're coming into this unfamiliar environment, they're meeting all of these new people, and they just want to feel like they belong.
Definitely. That's amazing. I totally would love to implement something like this onto our unit. That sounds like something that really has been working for you.
I actually did some research too about ways to help new nurses, and I actually found an article about job satisfaction with the use of similar types of programs like what Caitlin was talking about. And it said that it takes approximately a full year, which was the length of what your program was talking about, for new nurses to finally feel comfortable in the new role, allowing them to go through the necessary steps of development. It found that implementing supportive programs like that will help transition and help them to assist with positive job satisfaction and increase their confidence as well as retention rates. It said that the most challenging time for them is between that 6 to 12 month time frame, and if we decide to implement a program like that, I think we should really make sure it's between that 6 to 12 month point.
Well, yeah, that's true. I've also read a lot about new grad transition programs as well, and I also found this article that said a lot of these programs found success when they included transition theory into their content and orientation. It said that it's important to further enhance orientation programs by including knowledge about the professional role in the transition. This includes things such as like role playing, exacting as a nurse, integrating the interprofessional communication into those role plays, delegating management, conflict management, and then like specific unit skills as well. And including these kinds of things in the program will help the nurses feel like they're a part of the unit and feel prepared for their job and the integration from the orientation process into the new nurse as well.
I think that sounds great, and that's something that we could probably add into our spring program. We may even be able to make more education sessions, including some of those topics to help our retention even more.
Now, do you think that this is something that we could develop and implement for the entire hospital so that all new grads have the opportunity to be a part of the spring program?
Yeah, I definitely think maybe we could set up a meeting with the nurse educator and see kind of like how she got things started with that, and maybe how, if she might be interested in working with our units, or how we would go about or getting the ball rolling and getting this program established on different units.
I think that would be something good. I can definitely be in contact with her about how we can do that, because I know she was one of the people that was very involved in starting this program 2 years ago. So she probably has a little more knowledge than I do about how we can implement this throughout the hospital, but I definitely think that's something we can do.
That sounds great. And if we can implement this on other units, we can evaluate how this has affected some of the new grads. So maybe using like a pre and post survey to kind of evaluate the effectiveness of the spring program, and as well as meeting together to talk about some improvements, things as we go, just to make sure that the program is accomplishing what we want it to do.
Nicole, do you think that that would be something that you'd be interested in doing on your unit?
Yeah, definitely. I wish that's something that we had right now. That sounds great.
All right, well, I just want to thank you guys for meeting with me today and bringing such great ideas to the meeting. I will hope to hear from the nurse educator. You can be in contact with her, and we can kind of get things moving from there. In the refreezing stage, we can come back together afterwards and evaluate how implementing this program really affects the new grads and the retention rate of the new grads as well.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.